Welcome, and thank you for joining us. My name is Jonathan Pierre. I'm an attorney at Kelly Cronenberg. I'm here on behalf of the Rising Leaders Committee of Kelly Cronenberg with Judge Florence Taylor Barner of the 17th Judicial Circuit of Florida. Judge, please introduce yourself and briefly tell me about your background.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name it's a mouthful. It's Florence Taylor Barner, but nobody calls me that unless it's my mom and I'm getting in trouble. But no, everybody calls me Flo. So Judge Flo Barner over here. I'm born and raised in the state of Florida. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm a county court judge here at the Central Division at the main courthouse in Fort Lauderdale.
Thank you, Judge. Um, why did you go to law school?
Well, it's an interesting story. So I should tell you, I was actually a biology major first. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. And the thing they don't tell you is that you need to be prepared for the weird smells. And no one taught me about that. So the very first time I had like a dissection or something, no, no, thank you. I learned very quickly that's not for me. But I still wanted to do something in the medical field. I still wanted to help people. So I ended up actually majoring in psychology, and I focused on neuropsychology, and how the brain, actual organic brain injuries and things like that, with a focus also on experimental psychology. So I did that and I loved it, and I ended up getting a scholarship to Barry University. Go Bucks! And from there, I got another scholarship from the National Institutes of Health in partnership with the National Institutes of Mental Health and the CDC to do graduate level research as an undergraduate student. And I have to go to UC Berkeley in California. Excellent experience. I loved it. But then came the end. It's okay. So, what do you really want to do with yourself, Flo? Do you want to get the PhD? Because that's kind of where I was going, was for the PhD. PhD is 5 to 7 years. Law school is 3 years. And I should also tell you, I've been in school since I was in like 2 years old. I'm a Project Head Start kid. So, and my parents also were the ones that made you go to summer school, even if you didn't have to go. So I'd been in school from two on. And when that decision came, 5 to 7 years, I went with the 3 years because I thought my skills were transferable. All the research and writing and, really focusing and analyzing, those were skills that were transferable. Hence, I went to law school at the University of Florida. Go Gators.
Okay, that's awesome. That's a beautiful journey. And it's interesting how you got to that point. So, how did you first become interested in public service?
Well, that actually is also from my parents. Both of my parents immigrated from Haiti to the United States. They were fleeing the Duvalier regime, which was a dictatorship in Haiti at the time. And my parents came here because they really wanted a better life. They wanted more opportunities for themselves and whatever future family they would create. And my mom, when she came here, she worked as a maid in a hotel, and she eventually, this is before online courses, okay? She had to do correspondence courses through the mail to get her paralegal certificate. So my mom became a paralegal, as did my dad, and they worked at the same law firm, or still at the same law firm 40 years later. Yeah. And my mom, her big thing was, you have to help the lesser of your brothers. So for every step you take forward, you need to reach a hand back. And that was her thing, whether it was volunteering to do translation services, volunteering at, restoration of rights, or whatever it was,
Mhm.
handing out turkeys every year. Public service was something that was paramount in my family, and it's a requirement. So we did it.
Right. So, what made you want to become a judge?
Well, that was a different story. After go back to 2012, I had just had my first child, and I was a trial lawyer, traveling in all 67 counties, all over the state. You know what the grind is, being everywhere. And I got pregnant with my second. And early on in that pregnancy, I ended up developing a complication that had me. I had no choice. I had to go on bed rest for 6 months. So I had nothing but time to think about what I wanted to do with my life, and what I wanted to do with my career going forward. And at that time there were, I think, only 6 Black judges in Broward County, in a county of almost 2 million. And at the time there was only one Black female on the circuit court and one Black female on the county court, and that was Judge Mary Rudd Robinson on the county, and she was retiring. So the first time in my actual legal career there would be no Black female judge on the county court bench. And that was actually kind of a shock to me. So, I thought about that while I was on bed rest. And once I was able and ready to get back to work and everything, I decided I would run for judge because I thought that that was important. I wanted to set an example for my daughter. I wanted her to know that it doesn't matter where you start off in your life. It's never going to dictate where you're going to end up. And you have no idea what the future is going to hold. So go for it. All right. What's the worst that could happen? You try, you run, and you don't win. But I did. And so I feel like I'm here for a better purpose to try to help and inspire and encourage everyone coming behind me.
We're glad that you did. So my next question is, what do you think makes a good leader?
Well, again, a good leader knows the legs that they stand on. Because in order to lead, you have to have a good foundation and a good a background. That means you need to actually be involved in the community that you're going to lead and serve in. I thought about that. I live here, I work here, I'm raising my family in this county. So I want nothing but the best for my county. And I want the kid, honestly, I really want the kids who are coming up after me to really see that they can do this. And if you believe in yourself and you really push yourself hard and you focus on what's the goal, I'm here to serve my community, then you're going to be able to lead that community in the right direction with passion, with courage and conviction to do what you think is right for them.
What other advice would you have for a young lawyer?
Don't be afraid of failure. Oftentimes we get so bogged down in the minutia that we're just focusing on, okay, I got to do 100 100 depositions, I got to whatever it is that you have to do. Yes, we know you have to do those things, but don't get bogged down in the minutia that you miss the bigger picture. What are you actually doing as a lawyer? You're an advocate for your client, not just a paper pusher. You know what I mean? Like, you're there to really be an advocate for your client. And in addition, you are a leader for your client. You are leading your client basically through the wilderness of the court system. They have no idea what's going on, but that's why you're there. And so for any young lawyer who's coming up, I encourage you to think about that. Think about the bigger picture and understand that, number one, these things are not personal. They are not personal. This is work. Separate work from personal. Those are not the same. And also give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. You're not going to get everything right. You're going to make a mistake here and there. Don't kick yourself and beat yourself up to the point where you can't pick yourself back up and keep it moving. So again, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Remember, leaders can't lead if they don't have strong legs, as my mother says. Remember those legs that you stand on. That's the people around you. That's your support staff. Those, those the other lawyers in your office. And also get a mentor. I can't say that enough, that getting a mentor is super important, because think about it. They've already been there, done that. If you want someone to literally tell you how to do it, ask them someone who's already done it. So that's why it makes sense. Get a mentor in the field or the area of law that you're interested in, or sometimes in an area that you're not interested in, because you may find something that you like there. Don't be afraid to try new things and really, give it your all.
Awesome. What would you recommend for someone looking to get involved in public service?
Again, like I said, find stuff that you already like. Find things that you are already interested in, because those are the things that you're going to excel in. If your thing is helping small children, get involved with children. If your thing is, other types of community service, like actual work, like building houses, like Habitat for Humanity, get involved. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Actually get yourself involved in whatever it is you think you might have an interest in. And even those things you may not have any interest in at all, because knowledge is power. It doesn't hurt you to learn more about other things. And actually, again, get a mentor, because a mentor is going to help you to find out what are the different things that you can do in the community, you know?
Now, there's been a bigger emphasis on mental health in the legal community this past year. Is there
Absolutely.
anything that you do to manage your own mental health?
Yes. Again, as a psych major, I'm going to tell you all that mental health is key. You can't have physical health without mental health. Those two are intertwined. Because if you are exhausted and running yourself ragged, did you all know that, I should tell you this, that the DSM has now classified as, what is it, burnout? It's an actual thing now. It's a real complicated issue that we are, as lawyers, we're facing, because we don't know how to say no to the work. We don't know how to get off the clock. We don't know how to separate the personal from the work. Hence why I'm saying you need to set boundaries for yourself, which is something I do. When I'm off the clock, I'm off the clock. When I'm at home with my children, I'm with my children because I want to be present in the moment. Um, and also when, you are just looking at, um, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Because that's often a form of stress that we carry with us, even though we're focusing all these other things, we're still worried about what's our future. Don't worry about that stuff for right now. Just do what's in front of you, baby steps for everything, and really focus. And I highly recommend getting a therapist. That's kind of important. I know a lot of people think it's taboo. It's not. I have my phone right here. There's an app for that on the phone. You can get help through the phone. You don't, if you're, afraid or embarrassed, you can do it, through the phone. You don't have to go anywhere. No one has to see you. But those are things that I do. I have a therapist. I have mentors. I have friends. I still talk to my friends because those are the biggest supporters for your mental health, your family and your friends, the people you're connected to, because they'll be the first ones to catch when something's off with you before you even realize that something's off with you. So yeah, that's what I do. I try to really kind of, I'm a list person too. So I write lists every day. I check off the list, make sure I've done all the stuff I was gonna do. And if I didn't get to it, I'll get there tomorrow.
Right. So what is a typical day in your life like?
Whew, well, let's see. Every day I'm up at 5 a.m. No joke. I am up at 5 a.m. every day, get the kids ready, get to school, drop them off. I'm in the courthouse usually by 7:30, 7:45, just because it's the time of my kids' school. So I'm always here at the crack of dawn. But yeah, I'm usually in my chambers no later than 8 a.m. at any given time. And the very first thing that I do, honestly, is I review every single docket, every single pleading that I have for, that week. I tend to do those on like a Monday or Tuesday. So I've looked at everything for the week. So when I tell you I have read all your motions and I read all your case law, I'm not joking. I really do. I really do. And then I have court in the morning and court in the afternoons. And when I'm done with my dockets, if I'm not, doing a speaking engagement, maybe at a school or some other something, then I go home. And again, when I'm home, I'm home. I'm full on mommy at home.
Awesome. So we're coming to the conclusion of this interview. But I guess the last question I have is there anything else you would like to share with any of the viewers?
Well, yes. I mean, first of all, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to even be here to speak with you all, because it is still kind of funny. I know that I'm a judge. I recognize this, but it wasn't that long ago that I was a lawyer. I'm just a regular child lawyer, just like the rest of you all. Like even to this day, people say judge and I'm walking in the hallway and I don't turn around because I don't realize you're talking to me. But it's one of those things where I want everybody to take a moment and appreciate where you are right now. If you have your health, be grateful that you have your health. If you don't, be grateful for something else, because I think gratitude is something we kind of forget. And I want to try to bring that back, bring back a little gratitude. Let's be grateful for the little things, the little victories. Small victories are important. They add up. And those are all the things that are going to help boost you up, boost your spirit up, make you feel good about yourself. And all of those things will make you a better lawyer. Because when you feel good physically and mentally, you are going to produce in a more positive and better way, honestly. So if I can leave you all with that, is just be grateful, give yourself a break, don't be so hard on yourself, and know that your judges are actually here for you too, because it wasn't that long ago that we were just regular lawyers. We know, we understand, we feel you guys. But again, thank you so much for the opportunity. This really has been a pleasure.
Judge Flo, it has been an honor and a pleasure to participate in this conversation with you. Thank you so much for your time, and a special thank you to everyone watching. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.